Hi everyone, welcome back to another gameplay of Infinitode 2. So in this video, I will be responding to many players and many of you guys' comments and questions about 6.3 early AFK farming. A beginner-friendly guide, what are my thoughts on it, and which are the best strategies, best way to approach it to still be able to maximize the amount of loot and the amount of things you can get. Now, as most players know by far now, with this new update, the 1.9, loot has been reworked, and especially the mechanics of 6.3 are different. So now, if you use a purely AFK strategy like before 1.9, you're gonna be getting very little amount of loot, very little amount of rarity as well, and it's gonna be very bad. So now it seems that the best thing to do on 6.3 especially is to place a miner or to somehow spawn enemies, keep collecting loot, and therefore in that way you actually increase the total amount of loot you collect, you make it to become more rare, so it's like a win-win situation. But based on the tests that I've been doing, and I've been doing a lot of tests, especially on 6.3, related to like loot, related to the farming and to things around that, I can say for sure that loot has been nerfed. Like the overall amount of loot, even though it's still 1000%, but it's lower. It's lower than before, not only 6.3, on every single level in the game. So yeah, custom maps, 6.3, whatever other level is gonna be lower. Of course, there will be some bonuses, especially for bid this. So we're talking here about like very late endless, like after you max out loot frequency and rarity. There will be some bonuses where you can actually multiply up to 2.5 or up to 3 times the amount of bids you earn on that particular level when you have that particular bonus. So yeah, of course, for that reason it might be best to play that particular level. Yes, you might be needing to play a little bit longer. It might not be as easy as 6.3, but that definitely is gonna be able to give you a higher efficiency of bids and be able to earn a lot more bids than what you would on 6.3. And yeah, but overall, you know, the loot has been nerfed. So the amount of tiles, the amount of chests, the amount of keys, all these things that you earn, the amount of platforms, right? All these things that you normally earn on whatever gameplay you might be playing on 6.3 or on whatever level. So these actual items, and these items are the key items because these are the items that you need to have tiles from, right? You need to craft, you need to have tiles, so then you can create a custom map, you can put these tiles there, and then you can sell it, and you can earn prestige tickets, which is the main way in which you can maximize and you can max out loot frequency and rarity, which are the two most important upgrades in the game, a lot more than actually earning and having bids. If you prioritize loot frequency and rarity, then getting bids and then maxing out the entire game, so maxing out all of endless, is a lot easier and it takes less time. But overall the loot has been nerfed, so that's just something that I wanted to say from the get-go. So don't expect from 6.3 or from whatever level to earn the same amount of bids or the same amount of loot you were earning before, because that's not gonna be the case. Even if you use perfect strategy, it's not gonna be the case. The amount of loot total has been nerfed. Now, that being said, I'm gonna show you the results of these tests I've been doing, especially on low levels of research and very early endless. So what I'm doing here is I did these tests on difficulty 300%. So, you know, it should be pretty doable early on. Research looks like this. This is a star research. So again, I don't have it full because I'm supposing that at this stage of the game, you don't have all the stars, you don't have all the levels maybe unlocked, you're lacking some stars. So like I left some out, and I just got the most important upgrades. Remember, loot frequency here, the extra 20%, very important. Loot rarity, the speed reduction so that the boss on stage 6.3 moves slower. This is very important. Then some more speed for the miners, and then the coins generation. So that's it. These are the most important upgrades. Then depending on your coins, you can go for other utility like upgrade price discount, more range, power, attack speed, and all these things, starting coins that are useful but are not like 100% needed for the actual strategy on 6.3. Then I did this first test, the one that I'm going to show you, with loot frequency level 10 and loot rarity level 10. So both of them level 10. First 10 levels are cheaper and easier to get, so that's why I got both of them level 10. Then remember that it's best to keep loot frequency and loot rarity with a 2:1 ratio. So you want to have your loot frequency levels to be doubled the amount of loot rarity levels. So like 20-10. Then you do like 22-11, 24-12, 26-13, and so forth. And you keep this 2:1 ratio until loot frequency is level 40 and loot rarity is level 20. Then you start only focusing on loot frequency. You want to get loot frequency level 93, so 93-20. Then you want to reset loot rarity so that you can get your frequency level 97, and that's the point where you get a boost of loot and you start earning a lot more of loot. And then you max out loot frequency at level 98, so you cap it at 1000%. And by the way, 1000% is still the cap of loot frequency. You can't get higher than that. And then after that, you just go and max loot rarity. So it should be at the end 98, 100. Then of course at the stage, you can maybe take away the stars from loot frequency here from the star research. You can use these 6 stars on something else if you want to. And then you can get loot frequency level 100. So you have now 100, 100. And then that's it. Remember, Bidders Prop Rate level 0, you want to only start upgrading it once your loot frequency like is maybe like around level 60, right? You can get like the first 10 levels or the first like 5 levels to have like an extra percentage, but you don't want to upgrade it too much because the more bidders you get, the less legendary loot you earn. And remember, in order to gain prestige tickets, you need items, you need loot, you don't need bidders. Even though bidders is needed to get other research, but focusing on prestige tickets is much better. Then some other things that they used for these particular rounds, this particular task, was mining speed on miner only level 15, and the modifier mining speed also only level 15. And that was it. I didn't really reset a lot of other stuff, like I didn't reset my splash tower, I didn't reset like the coin generation or the starting coins because like I don't have enough acceleros to do all that. But I remember perfectly fine the levels, the amount of splash, the amount of miner level that you can get even when you don't have any of this. So yeah, these tests are reliable. Now what I did was I still wanted to test if actually how bad the old AFK strategy was. So I did this. Remember, you want to just occupy these 4 platforms so that the boss follows the longest path, and then you just start. And this is the old strategy. So in this strategy, you don't have any miner, you're not spawning any enemies, you're just going for enemy speed reduction first, then first 2 levels of coins per minute, then you're going for the full left side, full right side. And then when the boss is around this area and you reach 46 minutes in time, that's when you place your miner, right? You have your splash. You should be able to upgrade your splash up to level 7 with this flat 15,000 coins that you have from the core. And this is why the AFK strategy works. If this were to be any different, then this AFK strategy wouldn't be as good as it is, right? And then you get your miner at level 5. You should always have enough coins to be able to get level 5. And then you just get the all the loot, and everything until the boss leaks, and then that's it. Of course, this is very bad, and I was able to see how bad that is, and these are the results. And this is the level of bad. Look at this. So 12 minutes and like 30 seconds of gameplay, right, until the boss leaks. And these were the results. This is what I got. Remember, loot frequency level 10, rarity level 10, and all the rest of the research as I showed you. 24 bits, one single platform. So this was the single legendary loot I earned. So that's bad. Well, inferior, whatever. Then I also earned one single epic loot item. Just one. And then I started earning, I earned like 6 if you consider the accelerator. 5 loot in terms of epic items. Then here it's 7 rare loot. And then green peppers, and then just 6 common items. That's it. This is what I earned in 12 minutes and 30 seconds on 6.3 with the old AFK strategy. This is a joke. This is so bad that whatever other level, it's better than this. So like if you play for 12 minutes and 30, you will always earn more than this. So yeah, that's the level of bad that happens on 6.3. Now, then I tested the second strategy. Now in the second strategy, remember, you're always gonna make the boss path to be as long as possible. But then in this stage, you wanna place instead a miner. Now here, depending on how many coins you have at the start, I recommend you to place, for example, a basic tower right here. Then here you can place like a balance modifier because it's also pretty cheap. And then in the last two spots, just place whatever you have that it's very cheap, like it doesn't cost that many coins. Because then you wanna place the highest quality miner that you have depending on how many remaining coins you have. So if you can afford, if you can get the Inferior, then that's fine. If you can't and you have to go for like a matrix one or a tensor one, it's fine as well. So don't worry, it doesn't have to be tensor. To be Inferior, an Inferior miner. I did the test using an Inferior miner, but it's not needed to have an Inferior miner. All right. So matrix, up to matrix is fine. If you go to like, if you need to place vector or scalar, that's too bad. Like in my opinion, it might be best if you go to your research and you upgrade a little bit of this, so you get some more coins at the start, so you can at least afford like a matrix, a miner. All right. So that is my recommendation. But then of course you can go whatever you prefer. But yeah, that is what I recommend you. Then of course, as soon as you can afford a matrix, an Inferior miner, I keep confusing names, sorry about that. So as long as you can afford an Inferior miner, I recommend you to place an Inferior miner, because even if you're mining faster because you have more research, but you're still producing enemies at a rate that is pretty low, your basic should be able to handle those. And yeah, so that's just what I saw. And now in this stage, what you do is very simple. You just start the game and you just play like this. And therefore, because of this production of enemies, you earn loot because you destroy them. And the fact that you are actually destroying them and you're collecting loot, even though that loot would be very bad, you like only 1 every 5 enemies gives loot. Well, in this case, for this speed of Inferior and for the amount of research I have. But the fact that you're collecting loot like constantly over time means that loot rate is active. So now loot is becoming more rare over time, and also loot frequency is also better. So I don't know if this is because of a bug, if this is for whatever other reason, but loot frequency also seems to be linked, at least on 6.3, to the timing of the enemies and collecting the loot. So again, the rest of the strategy is the same. That's the only thing you want to change at the start, but that's it. So then you go for enemy speed, first 2 levels of conjuration, then you go for full left, full right. Then for 6 minutes, when the boss is around this area, you want to sell this miner, right? You want to place your modifier mining speed, you want to have your Inferior, you want to place your splash, you can upgrade up to level 7, you can get your Inferior up to level 5, and that's it. And then you mine the very last loot that maybe you had stored, get some more green peppers, and yeah, that's when you just play until the boss leaks. And now these instead are the results using that second strategy. This one's right here. Now you can already see, like if we just compare it right away with the full AFK strategy, you can see that not only I'm earning more legendary stuff and more epic items, like the loot is better, but also I'm earning more. And remember, loot frequency is the same. So this is not like we do different levels of loot frequency, it's the same level. So this tells me that either loot frequency is backed on 6.3, or maybe this is intended to work like this on 6.3. So like if you're not collecting loot, also loot frequency at a certain stage is like stopped. So you you're not storing all those extra loot that you could get. But at a certain stage, like it's like full, so that's it. You can't earn more. So even though at the very end of the game you put the miner and you collect all the loot possible you could get, is still less than half of the amount you would get if you would be consistently destroying enemies and consistently getting the loot. And you can see here the difference. So already like legendary earning now tiles, platforms, and the legendary blueprints, even epic, you know, earning more tiles, more platforms, and it's just better. So it's a lot more superior and also a lot more accelerators, which is always nice. But yeah, the old AFK strategy is dead. Don't want to use it ever again. Now it's time to start using this strategy, at least on 6.3. Remember, where you're just having a miner, whatever difficulty you have, the higher the quality of the miner, the higher the quality of the miner, the better it is. But even like tensor matrix is fine. And then you just keep spawning enemies, collecting loot constantly, getting that loot rarity to be increased, getting loot frequency to not be backed out or to not be reduced. And so these are the results. And you can see that this is actually a lot better. And even though, remember, loot has been nerfed, so this is not even close to the amount of loot I would have earned if I would be playing before 1.9 and using the same AFK strategy with the same research. So loot frequency level 10 and loot rarity level 10. But still, it's not so bad, right? This is bad. This is not so bad because you got already some tiles, some things. You can play with this. And these are 12 minutes and 30, which are well spent. And the cool thing about 6.3 is that you can then, as you keep playing, you keep getting more stuff, you keep upgrading your difficulty. It's very easy, even when your difficulty is very high, it's still very easy to deal with the enemies early on. So again, you don't need a splash that is maxed out. You don't need global research that is maxed out. You can still handle those enemies even with very high levels of difficulty and endless. And this, unfortunately, is something that doesn't happen with the other levels. With other levels, if you play at max like difficulty endless, it's a lot harder because enemies become very strong very quickly, already like a wave 30, 40. So other levels might not be as good to farm, especially when you don't have that much endless research early on. Instead, 6.3, you know, when your frequency is like level 25, 30, 35, you should already be able to have difficulty maxed out. And using the AFK strategy, you can still have your splash to be able to destroy all the enemies coming from the miner very easily, collecting all the loot and consistently, you know, being able to collect as many loot as possible because you're playing on the highest difficulty. So yeah, that's it, guys. These are the results of this early test that I did for early endless. So remember, placing a miner highest quality possible is better, but even, you know, a matrix one is fine. And yeah, just placing a miner early on and just keep collecting your loot in this way. It's much better, and it makes 6.3 a valuable strategy. I don't know if it's the best one because I haven't tested like other levels or maybe even cast maps, but as I said before, 6.3 is very good because of the fact you just need one tower splash. It's very easy to handle higher difficulties of endless even when you play maximum, and because of unique mechanics. So even if it has been nerfed more maybe than other levels, but I still think is gonna be the easiest way to progress, even though now the progression is slower because the overall loot has been nerfed. And that's it. So let me know, guys, what you think about this. If you have done some tests as well, what have you been able to find out? And yeah, thanks for watching and see ya. Bye bye.